Welcome back to The Explainer. Okay, we're going to tackle a pretty terrifying topic today, surviving a nuclear event. But we're going to strip away the fear and show you how, for the average person, it's not just possible, you can actually prepare for it. And no, you don't need some crazy expensive bunker. So let's just ask it straight up. Could you actually make it through something like this? I mean, we've all seen the movies, right? It's always portrayed as this instant, inescapable apocalypse. But what if I told you that's mostly a myth? We're going to show you the simple, practical steps that can completely change the odds in your favor. Okay, so let's get right into it. Because when you look at the actual history from places like Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and you combine that with modern science, it tells a totally different story. What really matters are the right actions at the right time. It's not about having a bunker, it's about having a plan. That's your real shelter. All right, first things first, we have got to separate the facts from the Hollywood fiction. Understanding what you're really dealing with is the absolute first step. So let's just go ahead and debunk the biggest myth of them all. Okay, this is the big one. The idea that radiation from fallout just hangs around forever, making everything a permanent wasteland, well, it's just not true. The most dangerous radiation decays, and it decays fast. After just 2 days, its intensity can plummet to only 1% of what it was initially. Think about that, 1%. Knowing this single fact changes everything about how you'd plan to survive. So, knowing that, the crucial thing to realize is that preparation starts today, not with panic and chaos, but with a calm, step-by-step approach. Let's build out your family's emergency checklist, starting with the absolute most important basics. Let's start with the one thing you absolutely cannot live without: water. The goal is 1 gallon per person per day. So for 2 weeks, you're looking at 14 gallons for each member of your family. Now, that might sound like a lot, but you can just store it in clean plastic jugs in a closet or a garage. Seriously, just doing this one thing puts you way ahead of the curve. Next up, food. The name of the game here is simple and stable. You have to assume you won't have a fridge or maybe even a way to cook. So, things like canned goods, rice, pasta, high-energy stuff like peanut butter, those are going to be your best friends. And please, I cannot say this enough, do not forget a manual can opener. Now, your go bag is a different beast from your at-home supply. This is your lifeline in a worst-case scenario where you have to leave your home. You want it light, but it has to have these essentials. That radio, especially a hand crank one, is absolutely vital. It might be your only link to finding out what's going on. But if all goes to plan, you won't need to go anywhere. Right, because your best bet is almost always to stay put and turn your home into a shelter. And this is where it gets really clever. You don't need lead-lined walls. The key concept here is mass. You just want to put as much dense stuff as possible between you and the outside. Bookshelves, heavy desks, even jugs of water or bags of dirt. It all adds up to create a protective barrier. That's why a basement is ideal. You've got the earth itself as a shield. Okay, so we've covered the prep. Now let's talk about the event itself. What you do in the first few seconds and minutes is absolutely life or death critical. There's no time for thinking, only reacting. This is where your prep becomes pure muscle memory. You need to burn these 4 steps into your brain. The flash is your starting pistol. Drop and cover protects you from the physical blast wave. As soon as that passes, you have a precious window, maybe 10 to 15 minutes, to get inside before the most dangerous fallout starts coming down. You have to move, and you have to move fast. From this moment on, every single decision you make should be guided by this one core principle: time, distance, and shielding. Minimize your time exposed, maximize your distance from the fallout, and maximize the shielding between you and it. This is your new mantra. So you made it. You survived the blast, you're inside your shelter, the frantic pace is over. But now a different challenge begins. Maybe the hardest part of all, the waiting game. Patience now isn't just a virtue, it's a lifesaver. And this is why you wait. Remember what we said about radiation decaying? This shows you how it works in real time. There's a rule of thumb called the 7-10 rule. After just 7 hours, the radiation intensity drops by about 90%. And after 48 hours, 2 days, it's down to just 1%. This is why staying put for those first 2 days is the single most important thing you can do. So what do you do while you wait? You get disciplined, seal up any cracks or vents, start rationing your supplies from minute 1, and just as importantly, you have to manage your mental state. the stress is going to be incredible. Try to keep a routine, talk to people if you're with them, and listen to that radio. It's not just for news, it's a human voice, a connection to the world. All right, you've made it through the first couple of days, maybe even the first week. The most extreme danger has passed. Now, the focus shifts again. It's not just about waiting anymore. It's about adapting and moving forward in a world that has completely changed. When it comes to finding resources now, the rule is pretty simple. Trust what was sealed before the event. Canned goods, bottled water, those are your safest bets. Anything that was left out in the open is a risk you just can't take. And a quick pro tip, always wipe down the outside of any package or can before you open it. But what if your sealed water runs out? Don't panic, you can actually make a very effective, simple filter. Just run the water through several layers of cloth. That gets rid of the physical particles, like fallout dust. Then, you boil it thoroughly to kill any germs. It's a two-step process that could absolutely save your life. You know, when you really boil it all down, it comes back to this one idea. Your greatest tool isn't your stockpile of gear. It's what's up here. A calm, informed mind that can make smart choices when the pressure is on. That's what truly separates survivors from statistics. So there you have it. You don't need to be a billionaire with a high-tech bunker. You just need a plan. And now, you have the building blocks for one. From packing to reacting to enduring, this knowledge is your real shelter. It's what turns fear into confidence. The question isn't really if survival is possible. It's whether you're prepared to make the choices that make it so.